The mitzvah of simcha. Ooh, massive. I mean, this is super massive. Especially you look at Sifrei Chasidus. Really, it's the makar of everything. That Simchas Achayim is simply a metzius. It's reality thinking. Having covered for Hashem's perfect creation is reality thinking. Being down, ba'atzvus, with anxiety or has v'shalom depression, or thinking about the negative in myself and other people, that's non-reality thinking, because in reality, HaKadosh Baruch Hu's world is so beautiful and perfect. Your body is so perfect. It knows how to fix itself. If a person takes in the wrong food, your body knows what to do. Hashem made us perfect. The world is so beautiful. Hashem wants us to be besimcha because that's reality thinking. It's not positive thinking. Positive thinking, if you want to call it, is reality thinking. Negative thinking, well, isn't that also reality? Well, actually, we're going to get to that. We're going to see on the practical implementation of this, how we teach middos to children by role modeling, and we're going to do it with a lot of metaphors, about, 15, 20 metaphors. You're going to see very powerful metaphors that help children recognize what is reality thinking, what's non-reality thinking, so that we are nurturing this in them all the time. The Arizal says, the oisias b'simcha, which is the state of being now in happiness, b'simcha, is the exact same letters, machshava, which means thought. Because where does happiness take place? Oh, it's my attitude, it's my thought, it's what I'm thinking in this moment. It's what I'm paying attention to in this moment. V'samachta b'chol ha'tov asher natan lecha Hashem Elokecha is one of the makaros for the mitzvah of simcha in chapter 26, verse 11 of Parshas Kisavai. Be happy, but b'chol ha'tov. V'samachta, be happy with all the tov, b'chol ha'tov asher natan lecha Hashem Elokecha, which Hashem, your constant power, has gifted you. Hashem is constantly gifting us reasons to be happy. In the words of David HaMelech, Perek Daled, Pasuk Ches in Tehillim, Nasata simcha v'libi. You've already given me happiness in my mind. You've already given me reasons to be happy. Nobody matched the suffering he went through. That's what Chazal tell us. Nobody, not even Eov. Eov had the most suffering in the 12-month period, but no one had as much suffering as David HaMelech over a lifetime, and yet he was capable of saying, Nasata simcha v'libi, you already have gifted happiness in my mind. That's what got him through everything. His resilience was based on reality thinking. Reality thinking is paying attention to God's perfect world. David HaMelech went through terrible suffering in his lifetime. Achitophel and Dayek, and his father-in-law tried to assassinate him several times. He was rejected by his father and his family, his brothers. Nobody had a havamina that he would be Mashiach, the anointed one, to be the next king. He was the black sheep of the family. And his line was, Hodul Hashem, ki tov. Why am I grateful to you, Hashem? Because you're good. How good? Because when I start counting the good, it's unending. Happiness is reality. Hey, it's a mindset and it's a lifetime career. We can get knocked down plenty of times, but the Torah is giving me so many halachas of how to go. Direction. That's what the word lech in the two-letter root of halacha means. It's direction. Halacha means direction. And there are halachas about what to think. That's extraordinary. Yeah, the Torah gives us. Out of 68 mitzvahs, at least 51 apply nowadays. And we're going through about 40 of them, which are all just middos. It's all about thinking. So moving forward, patience. Oh my gosh, that's a biggie. It has overlap with another mitzvah, which is to emulate HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And in the mitzvah of Lihidamos, to emulate Hashem, in V'halachta b'drachav, to go in Hashem's ways. Oh, so the mitzvah of Erech HaPayim, to be patient, to be long-suffering, that's one of the translations, but Erech means long, and Apayim means nostrils. That means when you're provoked to anger, you're upset, but you're holding it in. That's Erech HaPayim, long nostrils. So, patience. Oh, what a virtue. Catch me if you can. Patience. Yeah, it's a midah. And it's one of the middos Hashem wants me to emulate in Him. And mitzvah v'emunah. Oh, reality thinking. Patience, reality thinking. Simcha, reality thinking. Sinner. Oh, that's non-reality thinking. Oh, jealousy, that's non-reality thinking. See, start noticing what Hashem wants me to think, so that when I notice thoughts that other thoughts Hashem doesn't want me to have, I know to go to the next thought. It's much easier that way. I know I'm making it sound simple because it is. This is where we exist all the time. Will we fall? Yes, plenty of times. Will we be provoked to anger? Plenty of times. Will I fall into the anger? Yes, plenty of times. The possibility of recovery is much faster when we know the true source of our anger is not the person provoking me. It's my thought in that moment. And how long is that thought? As long as I want to think it. It's a pop-up. Oh, so I can go to the next thought that easily? Hold on. This is where you and I exist all the time. It's not the kids. It's not the principal. It's not the co-workers. And it's not the parents. It's what I'm thinking. I am my own enemy, and I can get myself out of trouble by the same thing that got me in trouble. Thinking the way Hashem wants me to think. Be b'simcha. Be patient. Hold on tight. Hashem's got a bigger picture here. Emunah, that's gigantic. Go to Rabbi Ashir's Shiurim and books on Emunah, Rabbi Arush, the Garden of Emunah. These are amazing resources to build one's mindset in recognizing that what happens to us is Hashem talking to me in order for me not to react and fight and get back at or take revenge for shalom or win against. No, it's an invitation for a relationship with the Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's the mitzvah of Emunah. And we learn it from Anochi Hashem Elokecha Asher Hotziticha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. So Hashem says in the first pasuk of the Torah, I am the creator who created the universe. Bereshis by Elokim, I am the power of all powers, Elokim, that created the heavens and the earth. But now Hashem adds on something that was not necessarily obvious, but now is. Not only am I the power of all powers, but I am the power that you experienced when I took you out of Egypt, because you experienced water turn to blood. You experienced the power of wind being blown by another power. I'm that power. When it blew the locust, you experienced the light, which is powerful, go out and full darkness for the Mitzrayim. Totally light for you. That's impossible. Well, guess who was controlling that? I am that power you experience when wild animals. Wild means out of control. Well, not exactly, because these wild animals only attack the Mitzrayim. Oh, so there's a power that's controlling animals. Lice, only affected the Mitzrayim. I am that power of all powers that you experienced when I took you out of Egypt. So Hashem is saying two things. Not only am I creator of the entire universe, and that's not just an event that took place in history, that's Machadish B'chol Yom Tamid Ma'aseh Bereshis. I am the one who's constantly renewing and invigorating, giving divine intelligence to every cell out of the 100 trillion cells in your body. I am the divine intelligence behind every seed in the ground that knows exactly what to do to become a fruit-bearing tree and provide fruit that will itself have seeds that when it falls into the ground and grows into another tree, it knows exactly what to do to take the sunlight and turn it into energy, food for itself to grow, take the water, absorb it from the roots into the tree, through the trunks, into the twigs, and grow the fruit for man to survive, to recognize I am the creator then and now. And I am also the one who took you out of Mitzrayim, in the sense that I am the one behind everything you experience in life. I'm supervising history. That's the point of the mitzvah of Emunah. And it's not just a historical event of Yetziat Mitzrayim. Hashem is declaring one time only at Matan Torah in front of millions of Jews, I am constantly your power. Yud Kei Vav Kei means constant. Haya Hove V'Yiyeh. Sometimes it's translated as eternal, but I am your constant power of all powers. That's what Hashem Elokecha literally means. Yud Kei Vav Kei Elokecha. Anochi Adonai Elohecha Asher Hotziticha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. Mibet Avadim. That's the full pasuk. Hashem's name Yud Kei Vav Kei and Elokecha is constant power. It's not a one-time event. It always was and is and continually will be. I am behind everything you don't control, which is everything outside of thought. All the people that you encounter, everything you interface with in the world, the weather, the markets, the politics, that's all me controlling everything behind the scenes. So the mitzvah of Emunah is a mitzvah of the mind. And that's a constant, I don't want to call it just a struggle, battle, but it's a constant mitzvah of the mind. The mitzvah of Echad, Hashem is the only one, that's reality thinking. You are the only one cause of everything. V'halachta bidrachav, go in Hashem's ways, which Rambam tells us, that is the mitzvah to emulate Hashem, to emulate Hashem. How do you emulate Hashem? Well, identify Hashem's middos and then emulate those middos. Erech Hapayim, Chanun, V'rachum, Rav Chesed. Any midah Hashem has, great, that you're telling me, Hashem, you want me to emulate that because that's reality. That's reality thinking. That is bringing out the true us, because the true us, as we mentioned much earlier, is you are Tselem Elokim. That's the real you. You are Chelik Eloka Mima'al. In Sefer Chinuch, you'll see that in a bit more detail, where he tells us that your Seichel is your Neshama. And your neshama is a chelik eloka. It's really HaKadosh Baruch Hu is powering your neshama. So you are divine intelligence. Your ability to think is divine intelligently powered. Your thinking is only because Hashem is giving you that ability. The choice of thought, you can't control all the pop-ups necessarily, but you do get to control what to do with the pop-up. Okay, let's move forward. Judging others favorably. But tzedek tishpot amitecha. This is a mitzvah which is deraisa. It applies to judges in court cases, but it also applies on a one-to-one basis. It's manifest in Pirkei Avos, Havidan et kol adam l'chavschus, where we are encouraged that whenever we are in a situation where you have witnessed someone do something wrong, but this someone has a track record of keeping Torah and mitzvahs, Hishomet Shabbos and Kashrus, and now they're doing something that's a violation of one of Hashem's mitzvahs, or they say something or do something to hurt you, but they've got a chazaka of being Hishomet Torah mitzvahs. So you have an obligation, quite remarkable really, because you're a witness that they said or did something wrong, but of what you saw and heard, you're now being encouraged to search somewhere in your creative imagination for any explanation that will put them into a favorable light other than what you heard and saw. You're not an Adam based in right now. We're talking about how to function all the rest of the time of your life, and you have a mitzvah to be done chavschus, that when you see someone do something wrong, if there's any way you can interpret that favorably, judge him favorably. Astonishing, absolutely astonishing. We're going to see a little bit more detail later on. We get to the mitzvah of Toichacha, where the mitzvah of Toichacha is the last resort out of two other options I'm supposed to try and shoot for before I get to the mitzvah of Toichacha. But we're going to do that because we're going to act this out in the classroom with lots of examples so this becomes really concrete. But right now I'm just trying to help bring out mitzvahs of the mind. Hilchas Middos is all about thinking. It's all thought. So let's look now at Oinas Dvarim, hurting people with words, unkind words, insults. This happens in the classroom all the time, especially in recess, on the bus, off the bus, getting on the bus, getting off the bus. There are so many scenarios at home, sibling rivalry, where we can hurt each other with words. And Oinas Dvarim, interestingly, the Rishonim tell us, is a mitzvah that starts over here. Because I have to be thinking not nice things about you in order for unkind words to come out. The word inui umlalim is the lashon of Rambam, not to hurt those who are easily vulnerable. The specific example in the Torah is an almana and a yisoma. Kol almana v'yasum loy ta'anun. The Rambam brings out, and you'll see this in the other Meinah mitzvahs, that even though it's the almana and the yisoma that are being singled out, they're being singled out not because it doesn't apply to anyone else, but it's because these are typical examples of people who are vulnerable. They don't have a father or husband to advocate, protect, defend them, and therefore it's more inviting to someone who hasn't got good middos, good mindset, to take advantage of them by inui dvarim, by hurting them with words. Inui is the origin of the word annoy, because you're hurting people. So it comes along the Torah and tells me, Oinas Dvarim starts over here. Oinas Dvarim is manifest in speaking to anybody, but it's also applicable to a ger tzedek. There's a special mitzvah of not to do Oinas Dvarim, not to hurt a ger tzedek, a convert, with unkind words. That's a separate mitzvah on its own. It happens to be there's another Oinas Dvarim, but that is a very unusual occurrence, where if you've got an Eved Kanani that actually came to you to escape his boss who was not treating him well, you have an additional mitzvah now not to hurt him with words. These are people who are vulnerable. And so Hashem wants me to pay attention that when you meet someone that's younger than you, or inferior in authority to you, or inferior in the strata of the social strata or financial strata or in the company, don't take advantage of the fact that you are holding a higher position. Have respect. We talked about that. And don't let the words come out, but it starts over here. Don't let yourself think unkind things about the person that might cause me to hurt them with words. Einus Dvarim, Moitzi Shemra. There's very similar. Don't give them a reputation that could destroy their parnasa, or their lives, or their homes, or their family. Lashon Hara, Rechilas. I'm not going to go to town on that, there's so much to say. Lashon Hara is all about a mitzvah of the mind. Gemara in Yuma Daf Tes, which has a list of all the causes of the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. It's interesting, out of all of those, the one that has been constantly identified as the main one, the main goyim, is sinas chinam, and that's all negative thinking about other people, not being done chazchus, and that's manifest in riachilus, in lashon hara. In the case of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa, one of the causes of the Chorban Beis Hamikdash was because of the bystanders. They kept quiet, which is a shtika kahida. In this case, it's as though they were accomplice to Kamsa and Bar Kamsa's machlekes and not defending when. So this is all about what am I thinking, and recognizing the situation around me. What am I supposed to think? What am I supposed to do because of that thinking? Be quiet or jump in and say, that's not right. Don't remember other people's mistakes. Which mitzvah is that? Actually, it's one of Tariag, lo titar. Lo titar es b'nei amecha. Lo tikaim, don't take revenge. That's another one. It's a mitzvah of the mind. That's what our Rishonim tell us. Lo titar is also a mitzvah of the mind. Lotita, Rashi brings, and it's in Yuma Chaf Gimel, right at the top there, Rashi tells us, Lotita means you have to be Masich Das. Take your mind away and not be shomer. Don't guard, Natir is Lashon of guarding, Shmira. Don't guard the negativity of in your memory of other people's crimes against you. Because who's not going to sleep tonight? Who's walking the streets upset with so-and-so? Don't let those thoughts, because that's what they are, destroy you, because that's not reality. It's not reality thinking. Reality thinking, bidan chavschus. Reality thinking, avash Yisrael. Reality thinking, emunah, Hashem, you're behind this. Reality thinking, echad, Hashem, you're the only one power behind everything, including my ability to think. And you've even told me what you want me to think. And in that choice, I get to celebrate life. I get to celebrate enjoying all the blessings and constant kindness that you do for me all the time. So we have a mitzvah of lotitar. Don't remember other people's mistakes they've done against you. I know the translation is usually don't bear a grudge. It's the same idea. But don't bear a grudge is more poetical, but I'm just trying to help us understand in perhaps more contemporary language. Don't bear a grudge literally means don't remember other people's mistakes. How can you forget? Maybe you can't. But when you get the pop-up in your brain, in your mind, of the memory of that person's crime against you, now you know that because of the mitzvah of lotito, what do you do with a pop-up? Delete. A thought of revenge. Lotikoim, that's a pop-up. Delete. Oh, sinas chinam, thinking negatively about other people. Oh, delete. Hashem is giving me the mitzvahs of mind because this is shaping our middos. Middos are hilchas thinking. Get it really clear. Rabbi Victor Miller, amongst others, translates the word, the terminology of Rambam in Hilchas Deus as the laws of middos. Because that's what it is. Hilchas Deus is attitude. Is how do I shape my mind? A clean mind equals a clean heart. Nekiyei das shibru shalayim is an expression of people who control their thoughts. It didn't mean they didn't get bad thoughts, but it meant that they pressed delete as soon as it popped up. Okay, let's move on. Remember, Hashem's kindnesses are all gifts not owed to me. Hashem's kindnesses are constant. This is brought in Sefer Haredim, Asay number Tesayin. He has a lashon of mitzvahs Asay, Liskar Tamid, Chazte Hashem. It's a mitzvah's asay to constantly remember Hashem's kindnesses. I know it's not one of the 6 quoted constant mitzvahs, but actually there are about 40 constant mitzvahs that actually truly apply every single second that you think about it. L'dabek boy is also a mitzvah's asay de'oraisa that applies every single second of one's life. Sefer Haredim, when he says remember Hashem's kindnesses, is a constant mitzvah. He says it's not only a mitzvah to remember Hashem's kindnesses to you, but remember all the kindnesses Hashem has done for Klal Yisrael throughout history, and for your family, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, surviving the Holocaust. Every time you think about what Hashem has done to keep us alive, we're still here as a nation, keeping Hashem's Torah mitzvahs so lovingly, that's a mitzvah's asay de'oraisa. It's hilchos thinking. You're shaping your mind because you're becoming a grateful person, and being grateful is being happy. They're all interrelated, they all interlock, they all overlap. Because besimcha is machshava. Besimcha is in happiness. Gratitude and happiness are very difficult to separate, because grateful people are happy people. Unhappy people are ungrateful people, because they are focusing on what's not good in their lives, in their wives, in their husbands, in their health, in their wealth. What's not good in the market, in the politics, in the community, in the family, whatever, in the health, in the finances, in the job. Whatever I'm focusing on that's not good in my life is what's pulling me down. And that becomes non-reality thinking. It doesn't mean we can't solve a problem. We can do that too. But I'm just helping demonstrate that the mitzvah to work on my middos are all mitzvahs of the mind. It's all hilchos thinking. The next mitzvah is also a biggie, the mitzvah of teshuvah. Yeah, hirhur halev. Teshuvah, even though it's vidui peh, it should come out as I'm really sorry, but Hashem counts it up here as well. Very much so. We've talked about this in I think in recess we mentioned. In Even HaEzer, there's an extraordinary simon over there in Lamed Ches Sif Lamed Aleph, where it quotes the Gemara in Kedushin that talks about someone who's a Rasha Gomer. Complete Rasha. And yet, when he says to an Isha, Hariat Mekudeshes li b'tabazu al manas shani tzadik gamur, Mekudeshes. That if here's a completely wicked person and says to a woman, he gives her a ring or something of value of a pruta worth, and says, you are betrothed to me on condition that I am a completely righteous individual. Hey, everyone knows he's a Rasha Gomer. No, Mekudeshes, it's a valid marriage. Why? Shema here teshuva beliboy. Maybe he had a thought of teshuva in his mind. Oh, so teshuva can be a split second. Sfarim tell us it's actually worth coming into this world if Has v'Shalom a person breaks every rule in the book, but has one hirhur of teshuva, it's worth it. The Vilna Gaon explains it very simply that the math is really powerful. A person has done all the various, hey, he's going to go to Gehenna, but the worst Gehenna for a Rasha is 12 months. After that, he gets Gan Eden for all the mitzvahs he did. So if he had one hero of Teshuvah, he gets eternity for that one hero, even though he has to pay the price, and it might be a very painful price, but it's a limited price. There's a limit after which, hey, there's an expiration date on Gehenna, and now, okay, payback for the mitzvahs. Oh, you only came in this world and did one hero of Teshuvah. You didn't do anything, you just had a thought. That deserves reward. And every single mitzvah is an eternal reward. We want to do much more than one hero of Teshuvah. But I'm just bringing out in Hashem's reality, that's his reality. And it's Paskin in Shulchan Aruch that the reality is we have to validate this marriage because perhaps he really thought in his mind, I'm going to be a tzaddik from now on. From now, starting now, I'm already a tzaddik gomer. Mekudeshes. Oh, I mean, it's in the converse as well. If he's a tzaddik, everyone knows he's a tzaddik. And then he says, Al manashani rasha, has v'shalom, mekudeshes shema hira avodah zara b'libai. Maybe he had a thought of avodah zara b'libai, and now he's a rasha. So, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who knows the MS, and therefore reality thinking is whatever I'm thinking. And because of that, Hashem counts it. It really matters. It makes a difference. The difference is gigantic. I'll give you one example, got to move on. Someone kills someone by accident. he goes to an Ari Miklat, a city of safety, a city of refuge, stands and based in, and if they can ascertain that this was not done deliberately, he was chopping wood, the axe fell off the handle, and the metal part landed on the head of another person 20, 30 feet behind him. He has no track record of hating the guy, there was no ill intent, so it was an accidental murder. He goes to an Ari Miklat, waits for the Kohen Gadol to pass away, and then he goes home. But if there are witnesses who know that this guy hates the man and already said, I'm going to kill you, and he's been practicing with his axe, he's such a good shot, and they warned him not to, and he killed the guy anyway. So how do you know the difference? On video, it's the same act. The guy just hits chopping away and it flies off the handle. No, the answer is, the difference is, one is b'mezid, one is b'shogeg. B'mezid and shogeg, the only difference is intent. The difference could mean the death penalty, or you go to Ari Miklat, and if the Kohen Gadol dies tomorrow, hey, you go home the next day, and no one can touch you. So, intent can make all the difference in the world that we're in. But in Hashem's reality, it's always making the difference. And that's where Hilchas Middos are. We mentioned the word Middah means character and measure, because that's the true measure of a human being. The true measure of a human being is character, and it's all in Hilchas thinking. Hilchas Middos is all Hilchas thinking. Now we're ready for another one. To be a tamim. Tamim tiya im Hashem Elokecha. Yeah, that's a mitzvah, to trust Hashem. Be tamim. It's a difficult word to translate, but Chazal tell us, Unkelos tells us it's a gvar shalem. He's a complete person. What's a complete person? So Rashi tells us a little bit more in the words on Yaakov was an ishtam. Ishtam, says Rashi, is kaliboy kempiv. What he's thinking, that's what came out of his mouth. Oh, so he was congruent. Not like Esav, whose thoughts were, I'm going to manipulate you. But so the words that came out of his mouth were there to try and get you into his trap. But it wasn't honest, sincere, and real. Oh, Yaakov Avinu was an ishtam, kaliboy kempiv. You could trust what he's saying. You could trust that is what he's thinking. You could trust that his actions are backed up by the right thoughts. So, Tamim Tiya im Hashem Elokecha, according to Sefer HaRedim, is one of the Taryag mitzvahs, to be a tam with a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Be honest, congruent, be real with Hashem. Talk to Hashem and pour out your heart, even though you know that I'm not the biggest, nicest person in the world. I made a lot of mistakes. But be honest. Rebbeinu Shalom, please help me. Please help me to be miskaber over my thoughts and be a stronger, happier person. More giving to my husband, to my wife, to my children, more affectionate and loving and understanding and respectful. And ask Hashem to help you. It doesn't matter how far I've fallen, I can always ask Hashem to help me. And that's all in the midst of Tamim Tiyem Hashem Elokecha. Tamim Tiyem Hashem Elokecha, according to Rashi on the same pasuk in Perek Yud Ches pasuk Yud Gimel in Devarim, the mitzvah is to be mitzapeh, look forward to the Yeshua of Hashem and not worry about what's going to happen. Because worrying about the future is pointless. Do you control the future? No. So what's the point about having anxiety or worry about something you can't control? That's wasted thought. That's wasted energy. So there's a mitzvah of Tamim Tiyeh, which means trust Hashem knows what he's doing in running the world, and you don't have to worry. The mitzvah is also manifest in Avram Avinu, where Hashem said, Hithalech b'fanai v'heye tamim. That's in Perek Yud Zayin Pasuk Aleph, in Parshas Lech Lecha, where he tells him, go before me and be a tam. So says Rashi, I want you to be shalem b'nisyoinai sai. Be complete in the nisyonis I'm sending you. Show everyone that you trust me and that you're not going to let go of me and that you didn't even think badly on me when I told you, bring your son, your only son, the one you love, Yitzhak, and bring him as a carbon. You didn't even think, Lohiher, Beliba, he wasn't even thinking. That's a nisoyin, that's not easy. Yeah, it's controlling your thoughts. You get a thought, it's a good one, entertain it, explore it. Oh, it's not a real thought, it's non-reality thinking, sinner, jealousy, press delete. Go to the next thought. So these are all mitzvahs of the mind. Don't be like Kairach and his followers. oh, don't get into machlekes. That's a mitzvah deoraisa, according to Ramban, Sefer Charedim. It's a mitzvah. Rambam doesn't count it as one tariag, but other minor mitzvahs do count it as tariag. But even if you don't count it as tariag, like the Rambam agrees it's a mitzvah deoraisa. And it's tali, belief. It depends on your mind. Machlekes starts with chilukei deus. It's so interesting that Chazal tell us that a machlekes l'shem shamayim is Shammai and Hillel, and yet the machlekes of Kairach, the lashon of Pirkei Avos, is not Kairach and Moshe Rabbeinu, or Moshe Rabbeinu and Kairach. It's Kairach v'kol hadasai. They were in non-reality thinking. Moshe Rabbeinu wasn't in machlekes with them, he was in reality thinking. Machlekes is always non-reality. Chilukei deis, in hurting other people. Shammai and Hillel, they were only interested in one thing: what's Hashem's ratzon? What do you want, Hashem? So they're both arguing, this is what Hashem wants, and the other one saying, no, this is what Hashem wants. One says, it's not sheker to say that your color is beautiful, and the other one says, Shammai said, well, she's ugly, you can't tell a lie. And Hillel's explanation is, no, that's reality to the chassan, and therefore you can say that. The point is that when it's l'shem shamayim and chilukei deis, it will come out shalom, and that's why Chazal tell us Shammai and Hillel, that their talmidim still married within each other. The family is still married within each other, because the machlekes didn't become personalized. It wasn't you're wrong, I'm right. It's Rebbein Shalom, what's your ratzon? You're arguing this is Hashem's ratzon, I'm arguing this is Hashem's ratzon. But it didn't become personal. Also, get out of machlekes. Don't get into machlekes. Ein shalom ba miriv. Never will there come out shalom from machlekes. That's Chazal. Don't go there. Let go. Whether it's a spouse, whether it's children, whether it's mother-in-law or father-in-law, or extended family or community or neighbors, don't go anywhere close to machlekes. Only the worst can come from it. Has v'shalom. It's not ever worth it. But that's a mitzvah deoraisa, and it starts with, what am I thinking? Don't get trapped in thoughts that are not real. It's not real. Shalom is real. Ava is real. Patience is real. Being down the chavsos is real. Machlekes is not. Sin is not. Jealousy is not. Lotito, remembering other people's mistakes, is not reality. Wanting to take revenge, that's ridiculous. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the perfect dayan. He knows exactly how to bring midah keneged midah to the smallest detail throughout the bria. So if you let go for the sake of shalom, you will win in the end, and you're winning now even if you can't see it. Moving forward, be grateful. That's a mitzvah deoraisa, to live in a state of gratitude. Avata es Hashem Elokecha b'simcha b'tuv leivav mirayv kael. That's in Parshas Kisavai, Perek Chavches Pasuk Mem Zayin, where the Torah tells me the reason why Has v'Shalom all these klalas might come upon Klal Yisrael is because, and this is one quick insert, the cause of all that calamity and tragedy, Has v'Shalom, would be because I didn't enjoy being frum. I didn't enjoy going to minyan, putting on tefillin, wearing tzitzit, saying brachas, loving Torah, learning Torah. If I, Has v'Shalom, don't sense the ta'am, the beautiful taste, the delicious mitzvahs, ta'amur, kitay Hashem, taste it and see, experience it yourself, Hashem's good. Well, how do you do that? Attitude. Toiv leiv, mishna tamid. A good mind is a constant banquet. Shlom HaMelech, acham mikol adam. Oh, it's all attitude. So the mitzvah here of being grateful, living a life of gratitude, is reality thinking. It's not just, hey, you've got a better nature than me. I'm more negative and I complain a lot and you had a better upbringing. Hey, even if that's all true, I live in thought just like you do. And whatever I thought yesterday, or whatever I think caused me to think what I thought yesterday, doesn't equal what I'm going to think now. I can change that thinking. First, I have to be aware. That's what this is all about. Being aware in the first place, because I'm paying attention to the mitzvahs of the mind, so I start realizing, really, there's a mitzvah deraisa to be grateful. Merayv kol, from the abundance of good, says Rashi. Merayv kol b'oid shehaya lecha kol tuv. While I had it good, I wasn't grateful. I wasn't happy. B'tuv levav, a good mind, a good thinking. Merayv kol, from the abundance of good that was in my life, I was not paying attention. I was more busy complaining about what's not good in my life. And that ultimately becomes a complaint against the Kadosh Baruch Hu, Rahman al-Islam. So we actually have a mitzvah d'oraisa to be grateful, and that is attitude. It's all attitude.